Welcome to the channel. Hopefully welcome back. If you've been following any of these videos, I've been working on this section of the driveway, doing some grading, and here we've got 3 large trees that are dead that need to be removed. I got to bump the driveway over just a touch to that side with the trees on. So we're going to work on taking this down with the track loader. It is another very windy day. You might not notice it at this point in the video, but that's what we got going on. I know we're just kicking things off, but let me spam you. Been stuck at 91 subscribers for a while. I need 500 to get monetized. I'd really like to do that and maybe start putting out some really great videos. But please, if you could do that, you don't have to watch them all. Just hit the subscribe button. It'd be your good deed for the day. You can just ignore my videos and let it go to the back of your feed if you don't want to circle back, but at least you helped a mountain man and his homeless dog out. Thank you guys. Alright, in case you're wondering what I'm doing here, I've got the bucket up real high to get good leverage, and my goal is to get the whole root ball out. It's just going to make life easier that way. So what I like to do is just kind of come into it, bump on it a little bit. I'm leaning outside. I don't know if you can see that or not, trying to see if the dirt is starting to shift, and I know that the root ball's coming. This tree has not been dead for that long, but some of the dead trees will shatter, and you have to manually dig the root ball out. So that's what we're doing there. Alright, well, we got all 3 of those trees down in one shot, and now we got to start limbing them up. And man, I'll tell you what, if you do this type of stuff, I'm not saying that it's crazy hard work or anything, but it takes some time. Now you can see that this was a very large root ball. It's a pretty large hole in the ground. I'd say that's about a 4 or a 5 yard hole, and I'm gonna have to come back in and fill that in. But it is nice to get that root ball out. Like I said, I'm going to be bumping the driveway over, and if you leave that in the ground, those roots are going to end up decaying. It's going to have some settling there, and And the good news is it'll hold all the dirt together really well, but I'd just like to get that out of there. So that's what we're working on now. I'm gonna cut these tops off and work on getting all this debris out of here. Well, I just got the saw stuck in the wood there, and where does that annoy me? You know what's going on, it probably annoys you too. Good news is we got the machine, so we can kind of add some pressure or lift up a little bit, whatever it's going to take to get it loose with the machine and get that thing knocked right out of there. Alright, well, I'm moving in here to get the saw out, kind of rigging a strap up there, and it seems like lifting up is going to get it loose. You just saw the saw drop there. So now we are back in business, and we didn't tear anything up. Well, I guess I spoke too soon about not tearing anything up. That strap just broke, and what ends up happening with these trees, a lot of times you'll think that you've got the root ball completely broke loose, and it's not. You can see I jimmied it around there, and now I'm pushing it back, and now I know it's completely free. You might be saying, hey, why are you using straps instead of chains? It's just me out here, so I prefer to use the straps, just because it's a little safer than the chain, as far as like if the chain breaks and comes back and whips you. If I get knocked out on the machine or something like that, I don't have anybody to call 911 or help me out there. So that's how I'm doing this stuff. And yeah. Okay, so we're getting ready to drag this thing out of here now with a new strap, and it's moving along just fine. So yeah, good news. These things can get pretty heavy, so I just kind of take it slow and get them moving and keep it moving. That way you don't have any like quick bursts of resistance on the straps. And these ones I'm using are rated for about 10,000 pounds. And this is a hardwood tree, so it's got a little weight to it. So now I'm just trying to get this thing spun around so we can drag it back to the bury pit. Somebody might be saying, hey, why aren't you using this for firewood or whatever? But there's just so much work to do out here and so many trees. There's not enough time in the day, and I don't have a lot of places that I want to stack this wood up. Firewood doesn't have much value down here because trees are very abundant. So we're just going to get this thing back there and section it and bury it. Get this thing rigged up and drug back to the bury pit so we can get on to something a little more interesting. I just caught a little snag on that tree there, and as you can see, the tree was dragging a little crooked. So I hopped off of here and repositioned that strap so it would pull a little straighter. And now we are trucking it on back to this bury pit so that we can cut this thing up and push it into the abyss. Well, if you could hear it, this saw's a little cranky. It's not running so hot. This fuel's a couple months old and that chain needs sharpened. So I decided let's just hang it up for the moment because I just got a call to go do a job. So I'm going to let the saw cool off and go get some fresh gas, clean the spark plug, sharpen the chain, and see if she's happy again. But yeah, that's just the way it goes sometimes. You know, you're in the middle of doing something, the saw doesn't want to work, people need you to go do something, so you know what, you just hang it up and move on. So that's what we're doing, and here we are. Now the wind has picked up quite a bit, and we're back at it with some fresh gas and a sharpened chain, and she's happy again. Well, the saw's running and cutting good again, but I got the saw stuck in the wood, and have no fear, the machine is here, and just like that, we got the saw loose, and we're gonna be able to get back at it. Alright, well that's quite a bit of cutting there. I'm going to throw you all on time lapse. This exciting chainsaw footage has been interrupted by yet another commercial. Have you done a good deed yet today? Would you be willing to take your finger all the way over to the subscribe button so a mountain man, his homeless dog, and his geriatric mixed breed pit bull could get monetized? We're sitting at 91 subscriptions and we need 500 to get monetized. Please subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, I'm not afraid to beat the dead horse. I say it all the time. Keep a sharp chain on the saw. It started getting a little dull. I always keep a spare on hand. So swapping it out, I didn't feel like taking the time to sharpen the one that was on it. So that's what we're doing. Let's keep it safe. Let's keep it efficient. And that's what we're doing. The little girl just showed back up. She's either been playing with the neighbors or digging holes in the woods. She got dirt all over her face. This dog just kind of showed up and moved in on Black Friday. And I'll tell you what, man, she really a happy dog now. She loves being here. And yeah, so that's who she is. If you have never seen the videos before, that's the little girl. Well, this chain's getting a little dull. It's still semi-usable. This is our last cut of the day, so we're just going to kind of try and get through it. But, yep. I'll tell you, it sure is nice being through, cutting this thing up for the most part. I'm sure when I go to load all this stuff up and, take it back to the berry pit, there might be something that needs cut up a little bit more. But as you can see, I don't know if you want to call it 2 or 3 trees or whatever, but, it was like one tree that was basically 2 trees, and then there was the pine next to it. And it's a lot of work, just getting this stuff cut up and moved and all that. So yep, it's about the end of the day right now, and I'm just going to park this machine and get it out of the way so I can get in and out of the driveway. There's always some work to do as far as the business goes, and you don't want a dead machine keeping you from making money. So we're just going to park this bad boy, and then once we get some more time to get this thing cleared out, that's what we're going to do. All right, now it's time to make some dinner. I haven't showed food stuff in a while. I'm going to be doing a baked ziti with a sausage and ground beef meat sauce. These dogs go absolutely crazy for the pasta dishes. As you can see, they're looking to get some. Here's the finished product, and it's time to eat, guys. Okay, we are back at it now. It's a couple days later. We had a busy day with the business yesterday. So we've got all this stuff that we got to clean up. We got the chain sharpened and the spare chain sharpened and some fresh gas in the chainsaw in case we need it. Miss Lily, my chunky monkey, has decided to make an appearance and come down here and see what's going on. And we're getting ready to clean all this mess up. And yeah, so this will be nice to get all this cleared out and get all this stuff down to the berry pit. It's a very beautiful day today. No wind at this point, which is great because I'm not a big fan of the wind. And then being back in the woods, maybe having dead branches harpoon you, getting blown out of the trees is not so safe either. So let's get this track loader fired up. Getting some hearing protection in now. And I do need to replace the glow plugs in this thing again. So we are getting the can of Dozer crack out and giving her a little spritz and get it going. Okay, she fired right up, seems happy. Throw you all on time lapse. The video's starting to get a little long and we got a lot to clean up. So let's make good use of the time. Here we go. Alright, there it goes. The gimbal died on me. Unfortunately, I left it outside and didn't charge it up, but you missed the dump scene, and here we go with some more cleanup. By the way, how about this song? I love this. Now, I'm no Patrick Swayze, but if Roadhouse had a manual labor scene, this could have been in the movie. That song, it would fit right in, man. What do y'all think about that? How about this little tag-along dog, man? She cracks me up. She always does pretty good staying away from the machine, but sometimes she gets close and makes me a little nervous. Alright, you know what I did? I restarted that song. I can't help myself. Now we got to fill this dirt in. We've got some soil down here at the bottom that is pretty damp, which means it's going to pack into that hole real nice. So we're just going to fill it up for now. And the next video I'm making, we're going to be, doing some work with a land plane and filling this area in, because we're going to be shifting the driveway over and then working on the grade on that big steep hill. So this dirt will be real good for this spot. And it looks like it ended up being about a 6-7 yard hole as far as how much dirt I put in it. This bucket's about a 2.5 yard bucket. So, it may even been more. Alright guys, this would be a great time for me to pastor you. If you could please subscribe, like, share if you want to. But I've been stuck at 91 subscribers now here for weeks, and I'm hoping to get monetized one day. I only need 500 subscribers to get monetized. If y'all could help me out with that, that'd be great. You can see we got this hole filled in. I got a branch sticking out of there that needs to be cut. But this is about it for this video. Beautiful day. I'm going to probably be starting another video today, but thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.